Test 1, 2. Check 1, 2. We're ready? It's it's time. It's time. Good morning. Good morning. Greetings and salutations. Are you on?
I think I'm on. I
Hey,
think I'm on. I
I
think
think
I'm
we're
on. I guess
on.
I'm on. All right. Yes. All
Alrighty.
right.
Well,
I can't share that with you.
right? Some things.
Well, at least not here in this format. See me later on and I will.
So, good morning, everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for wearing your masks. We know it's not the funnest thing to do, and at the same time, it's the safest thing to do. So, thank you so much for doing the wearing the mask while you're in the building. We so appreciate it, and the social distancing as well, keeping everybody safe and healthy and happy as can be. So, welcome. Is there anyone here for the second time? If so, hi, good to see you back. And she's still
Awesome.
Treva, and she's taken a class, so maybe it's your third time actually in the building. So, welcome back, Treva. Thank you so much. Any first timers? Oh, great. Hello. Thank you so much for being here. Would like to connect with you after the service if you have a moment to connect, and that would be awesome. So, here at Unity of Fort Collins, we welcome all beings. We're about inclusivity, knowing and recognizing that the spirit that is breathing us, everywhere present, it is the energy of wholeness and love, peace and harmony. And it's right here in this room. And we recognize that each and every one of us is an expression of this divine love. Whether we think we are or not, or think someone else is, we believe this to be true. And so we practice that recognition that we're all divine beings on this human journey,
Yeah.
remembering who we are. So thank you for coming to this service and to open your hearts and your minds to a higher perspective, a different perspective perhaps, and may it serve you and bring you more joy, happiness, peace, and love. We have a vision statement here, and if you picked up one of the little flyers as you walked in, on the other side of it, it does have the statements that we often say in unison, and some of you may know it by heart. So, it's the vision statement of Unity of Fort Collins. And we begin by, and you can say it with me if you choose. We're centered in
Love.
love, inspired
Inspired by
by spirit.
spirit.
We awaken,
Awaken,
connect,
connect,
and
and
thrive.
thrive.
And we believe that for ourselves and for everyone on the planet. And so that's our vision, and I thank you for being and joining us in that vision. Some announcements that are happening are, and oh, I don't want to forget, we have an online presence. So, to the presence, to the gifts online, it's a new thing that we're doing here. So, don't want to neglect that we have folks that are joining us from all over the world. Who knows where they're coming from? And if you all that are online, want to type in where you're at, say hi. We'd love to see those comments afterwards.
Grateful you're here.
So, a couple shout outs. Shout out. We have a facilities team, and they're headed up by Leanne Gable and by Gerald Gates. And we have the Tom Lale, who gets to do a lot of handyman projects around. And we have Julie, our office administrator, who coordinates so much of it. So we would like to give a big send your love because we have the blessing of having property. And that is just amazing to have a building and grounds. And the great thing is we now have adopt an area angels. So let's give, if you're an angel who's out there weeding and such and doing things, just raise your hand. Give a little wave out, okay? And we want to thank you for your participation. Is Nancy Hughes in the house? If she's out for 3 weeks. Well, we are sending a lot of love and gratitude to Nancy Hughes, who has beautified and cleaned up and taken care of our labyrinth. If you don't know it, we have a labyrinth in the back corner. She's weed whacked and put non chemical things like vinegar and such out there, so it's walkable now. So, as long as we have good air. So, you're welcome to come by anytime and walk the labyrinth and do that meditation. And if you want to know more about the labyrinth, please see me afterwards. I'd happy to tell you. We also want to give a little love, or maybe a lot of love, to the little ones in the back. So everybody raise your hands up and throw some love to the youth and family ministry. Yes, the little ones are learning about the unity principles, and that's so exciting. And we want to thank those that are stepping up as leaders and to be with our kids as well, and as well as Stacy. Those are my yippee doo shout outs. And now, Divine, what's happening this Tuesday?
Let's see. This Tuesday. This Tuesday.
Are you on?
Wait a second. This Tuesday. Oh, that's right. We have class this Tuesday.
Are you on? I don't hear your big voice.
Hello? Hello? I'm on.
I don't hear. It's not on.
Well,
Well, you can speak in here.
I'm just gonna speak
Speak
over
in
here.
there.
All right. Thank you. So we started a class this past Tuesday, how to pray without speaking to God.
Are you? So she's on now.
Hello? Hello?
We have fireworks.
I always like to come in with a bang, you know?
She's coming in with a bang.
All right. Cover your ears. We'll get this together. Can you hear me now? Excellent. Otherwise, I can't use my big girl voice.
It's not through the mic.
Okay. Let's just do this. So we started class last week, and if you'd like to join, there's still time to participate this Tuesday here at 6 o'clock. You'll need to get the book and contact us so we can get you caught up on your life work assignments, but you're definitely still welcome to join. And then Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, also here at 6 o'clock, grief and loss support group. Grief does not mean that someone had to die. It means that you are going through an experience of change in your life, and support would be welcome. You are also welcome for that.
And the following Wednesday, which I have it listed as August 18th, we will have meditation from 6 to 6:30 in the Roomy Room here, and it will also be put out on the Facebook Live. So if you would like to have meditation on the first and third Wednesdays of the month, and you can always go to that particular meditation on Wednesday nights because everything is being recorded, and therefore you can go to Facebook and look under videos, and you can see the talks as well as the meditations. And we are live streaming on YouTube. However, we do put it on Facebook and on the website. So if you miss a talk or want to be seeing it from somewhere else, that's just your information. If you have any other questions, please see us afterwards. First-time visitors, there is a welcome packet that will be outside on the round black table. There's also a box there. So if you have a prayer request, and I call it a prayer revealment, something that you would love to have different, or even a gratitude for something that is going well in your life, drop that in that box, as well as any suggestions or other gratitudes that you would like to share. And I think that's it for, yes?
One more thing.
One more thing. Okay, that's just, ooh. Andres?
Maybe not. I don't know. I was just going to ask that after services, we do have fellowship outside with coffee and tea, so that you are welcome to go out and mix and mingle with your friends and catch up and see what's going on. That also allows the team that does cleanup after services to take care of their tasks. So we're not telling you get out. We're just asking you to gently mix and mingle outside. Thanks.
And thank you for the mix and mingle, because I almost forgot the announcement is there's always been, except for last year, an annual picnic here at Unity. And so 2 Sundays from now, August 22nd, right after the service, there will be an annual picnic. more details are being developed. We're not sure if we're bringing our own food or if we're going to share because of the variants and such. But stay tuned. And if you'd like to be on the newsletter and you're not, because that comes out every Thursday, again, put your name on a slip of paper with your email address and say, I'd like to be part of that. Drop it in the prayer box or stop by the office. I think that's it. Any other announcements that I missed? Okay. Let's go within and let's just become still. If it feels comfortable to close your eyes and take a deep breath in together and let it go. Another centering breath in and let it go. And let's just spend a few moments noticing our breath in the silence. And noticing that breath. We notice the natural rhythm of inhalation and exhalation. And we realize that we are not even making ourselves breathe, that something is breathing us. That something is the life force and source of all that is. It's the divine love intelligence that is everywhere present. It's in the air that we breathe that is breathing us. It's in our bodies. It's in this room. And so we open. We open our minds. We open our hearts. We open to the divine love that surrounds us and fills us and flows through us. We open to the divine love that is in the music today. The divine love that is being spoken by Reverend Divine in her message. It's the divine love that is beating in your heart and is that every person in this room. So we give thanks. Give thanks for this opportunity to be here in this experience of divine love, knowing that each and every one of us is gifted, lifted, and shifted into a higher vibration of the love that we already are. So for the blessings and the joy of today's service, we simply affirm and accept it as so by saying together, and so it is. And now, divine ones, we have a unity blessing, and for those that are in-house that may know it by heart or have the sheet of paper that has the unity blessing, we like to speak this together. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. And so it is. So now we have the pleasure of our music team today. We have Elizabeth Huditz and her husband Al Hager, as well as Gerald Gates on the drums. So let's give them some love.
So our community song today is one of Al's creations, and it's just something that we think everybody would probably like to do. Well, it's so nice to see all these beautiful faces here. So I'm Elle, that's Al, and you got Gerald back there holding it all together.
I just wanna walk down the street
Share a smile with the people I meet in the sunshine. In the sunshine. I'm gonna row downstream, share a little of this sweet dream in the sunshine. In the sunshine. When a friend says, how do you do? Are you happy or feeling blue? I'll roll out my favorite tune and sing these blues away. I wanna ride in my heart ship, take a magical mystery trip in the sunshine. In the sunshine. 'Cause I got memories, a pocket of cash. The good times will be good at last in the sunshine. In the sunshine. When the wind blows a little rain, I'll laugh and dance and shout your name. 'Cause I know you'll be back again when the sun breaks through the clouds. When the wind blows a little rain, I'll laugh and dance and shout your name. 'Cause I know you'll be back again when the sun breaks through the clouds. I'm gonna row downstream, share a little of this sweet dream in the sunshine. In the sunshine. I just wanna walk down the street, share a smile with the people I meet in the sunshine. In the sunshine. In the sunshine. Here comes the sun. Al Hager.
In the sunshine. Did you like this song? I like that song. Thank you so much. Such a blessing to have you. We are blessed. So today's inspirational reading comes from the Daily Word. And the topic is free. The affirmation. I am free to be the best me I can be. If I long for the feeling of freedom, I look first to myself. It does me no good to wish something outside myself could make me feel free. It truly is an inside job. Through the Spirit of God within me, I free myself from doubt, insecurity, hesitation, and anything else I may have let hold me back. Thinking small limits my life and locks me in a prison of my own making. Today, my world expands as I leave thoughts of inadequacy and doubt behind. I choose instead to believe the best about myself. I am confident, courageous, and strong. I am free to take steps to create the life of my dreams. An exciting future awaits me, and I boldly take my place in it. I am ready to live my life to the fullest. And from John 8:32, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So it is.
Hello? Thank you.
Is that? Oh. Today, I think we're kind of going to be focusing on the power of the word and affirmations and believing in ourselves and basically being brave. Here's a song by Janice Stanfield and Joe Scott. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. What would I do if I knew I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sail, how far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like a mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would you do today if you were brave? What would you do today if we were brave? Thank you. Wow. Thanks.
If I were brave. Wow. What a great way to tie into what I'm speaking about. But of course, because there's only one mind. If I were brave, I'd have my stand just how I wanted it, and I am. So this month of the 12 powers, we're speaking about power. And last week, Reverend Lee spoke about the power of prayer. And this week, I'm speaking about the power of self-mastery, as if, what would I do if I were brave? And I could not fail. The definition, oh, and by the way, my talk title, just so that as I speak you can kind of keep that in your mind, is I stand in my dominion. I stand in my truth, my light, my power of whom I am. The definition of self-mastery, the ability to control one's own desires or impulses. Self-control, self-discipline. Well, Reverend Linda Martel-Whitsett says that self-mastery is our own capacity to guide our thoughts, our words, our actions, and integrity with our infinite self instead of reacting from impulses. Or said another way, when you can't control a situation, take the challenge to see what you can do to control your own thoughts about what's happening, because that's where your true power is. So again, if I were brave. Has anybody in here besides me and Reverend Liz been watching the Olympics the past 2 weeks? Anybody? I'm sure some folks out in live stream land as well. That is the ultimate of self-mastery. Would you agree? Okay. That's it. The end. We'll have Elle come up and sing some more. I thought about all the years of watching the Olympics and always looking so forward and so excited to the winter as well as the summer, my favorite sports, and I'm sure each one of us has our favorite things we like to watch. I also remember that during every Olympic that I can remember, there's always been some brouhaha, some controversy. You know, whether it was a country that was not allowed to compete because they found too much drug use and therefore they were not allowed, a time where a country came in and wasn't allowed to participate because they found that members of that team were using steroids. There was always something that kind of was in the forefront of our mind, some big issue that occurred. Whether it was a political thing or something that had us thinking about that as well as the sports. But one of my most beautiful favorite things I always enjoy is when all the countries walk in and are representing the people that are participating in their country, as well as the connection of all the world gathering together. What's really interesting to me is we've gotten a little off track about what's important in the Olympics. Right before the Olympics, the week before, first of all, it was postponed a year. That's already a big thing. Then a week before, they decided they weren't sure they were going to allow it to even go on because people that were competing were having an outbreak of COVID, so they couldn't compete. Or their country arrived and then had to be isolated because there were members of the team that couldn't compete. So they were really up until the very last minute wondering, should we even do this? And it was definitely different. Now, before that all occurred, I'm not a real sports person. I have to gather data because I don't follow it that much. But I do pay attention to things like young up-and-coming tennis pros like Naomi Osaka, who is a native born from Japan, who is an up-and-coming star in tennis. She always gets interviewed, and one day she chose not to. She wasn't in the headspace, and she said, I just can't do it, not today. Well, she got in big trouble about not being willing to do an interview because she's having a pretty bad day. And matter of fact, she actually got fined. Okay, find, because see, we've lost track that these are human beings. We kind of have now gotten to the point where, because they're paid a lot of money to do something they're passionate about, we expect them to do things that are beyond the beyond, that no longer put them in the human being box for our delight. You know, and I think that's kind of interesting, because they didn't even, they meaning the people that are doing the interviewing of her, didn't believe that the reason she wouldn't do an interview was she was not well in her mind that day. She was having a very bad off day and was needing a mental health pause. Now, how that ties into self-mastery is, if you don't speak your truth for yourself, then how are you in alignment and in integrity with yourself? And just because she was pressured, yes, she was fined, and she actually withdrew from a competition, a tournament, because it was like, you know what? I need a break right now. And you all have forgotten that I'm a human being, so I'm going to care for myself instead of just go, go, go. So that was the first leading up to it, and I was blessed to see she was able to carry the torch in her home country. That was a beautiful thing for me to see. Then we went on to another controversial item that I thought was interesting. The Norwegian Handball, the women's Norwegian Handball team, was fined 15,000 euro per person. I don't know what that is in American dollars. But the fact that they were fined because they chose not to wear their bikini bottoms to compete. Check that. Okay, because that's more important than the sport itself, that they suit up in their bikini bottoms. Now, in 2006, they had started boycotting this process, saying, this is not acceptable. Men go out in shorts. Why do we need to show up this way? This is kind of degrading. And with so much body shaming going on with people in general, this is just reinforcing at another level of, if we don't have this picture-perfect body, we're not okay. So the team protested, and what I thought was interesting was the musician Pink showed up and said, I'll pay their fines. You go, girls. I'll pay your fines. Okay, that touched my heart. The beautiful thing is she didn't have to. Somewhere along the line, it was still paid. It was still paid. It had to be paid. But in their writings, in their contract, they're allowed to wear a one-piece swimsuit, a bikini bottom, or shorts. They chose this one year to show up as a team in shorts, and this is what occurred. So this is just starting the vibe of the Olympics. And I'm thinking, wasn't it about team sportsmanship? Wasn't it about you doing your very personal best to even qualify to get on your team, let alone then go to the country and have to qualify each meet you're showing up for to participate in that? Now we've gotten it so that we're focused on totally other things that I don't quite think have anything to do with sportsmanship, but I find it interesting. The next thing that I found very interesting was our beloved Simone Biles of the gymnastics team, known as the name of the GOAT, was to go and make sure we got gold. Okay, forget the rest of the team members. She's supposed to carry the load for this team. Now, where does that give each one of these other women permission to stand in their light and their truth? Because they're kind of scared, because they're kind of relying on her to take us home. And after a few days of rehearsals, we heard all this scuttlebutt about, oh my God, she's not going to participate. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? The U.S. will not make gold. Did we bother to check in to see what was going on with her as to why she might not participate? No, we were focused on, well, we're already in a hot mess. She's not going to take us home with gold. We then found out that she was experiencing what is called the twisties. This went on in the news for quite a few days. In fact, every day there was a report on how she was doing with her twisties. Now, with someone that experiences vertigo, I can only tell you that the description of the twisties put me in a spin. The fact that your mind and your body does not connect, the fact that you are up in midair at high speed doing rotations you're disoriented, you don't know where you're going to land. And when you land, you're not centered in where you're supposed to be, so you can't land it. You can't stick it. Matter of fact, in most cases, you fall and you run the high risk of not only an injury, but what about a permanent injury? No, we're a little more focused on she's got to bring us home with that gold. Then she decided, I guess with her coach and doctors and such, that she was going to take herself out of competition. Another brouhaha, how could she betray the country? Forget taking care of herself. How could she betray her country? Betray her country. Let's see. Well, she stayed through the whole thing and cheered on each one of her colleagues, one of each one. And each one got the opportunity to rise up to their self-perfection because they were given opportunity to experience their own self-mastery. Do you think Kim, thank you. I had it in my head. Do you think that she would have had the opportunity to not only go out, represent, and get all those golds and shine if that was not a possibility? Do you think other members of the team would have had an opportunity to go and participate full on? Because now we weren't relying only on Simone to carry us. We as a team had to carry us. We as individuals in that team had an opportunity to show up and do our very, very best. And in some cases, win medals. And the thing that I found really interesting was one of the young ladies who was an alternate, because in each event you have the person that's supposed to do the individual event and then an alternate of the whole team. So this one young lady, Michaela Skinner, her dad is her trainer. She goes there, not even thinking she's going to participate. Matter of fact, it got to the point where she was almost going to fly home because it's like, well, I'm not even going to have an opportunity. But when all this started to occur, she stayed and she thought, well, and her mind wasn't about everything else. Her mind was about, oh, I may have an opportunity to compete. I may be having an opportunity to stand in my light and shine, which was no way in her consciousness at the time. Now, her father was her trainer. Her father shared stories of other Olympians before her when she was little getting into gymnastics. And one of the people he spoke about was a superstar in the 1996 Olympics, Carrie Strug. Again, we're focused on our medals, not our people. So this young lady had had a lovely career of lots of injuries and things, as many of the people that compete in different forms of athletics. And she, at the Olympics, had come off of a vault and actually hurt herself to the point where she could barely stand on her ankle. And her coach said to her, you have to go out there and get the gold. And she looked at the coach and said, do I have to? I don't think I can. The coach said, you will. Not only can you, but you will. The woman retired from gymnastics early because, of course, the wear and tear on her body and injuries didn't allow her to continue in athletics. And when the father realized that this was the story that he was so proudly wanting to inspire his young daughter with, he stopped because he realized, I don't want to put that on my daughter. If my daughter is passionate about gymnastics, I want her to enjoy herself. And oh my gosh, she actually is so good that she qualified again, the word qualified, to be part of a team. Just because we qualify does not mean that we get to participate and we get to make opportunities to break records and win medals. We're qualifying to be part of a big team so that we get to be our very personal best. And again, I could go on and on and on with so many more stories, and I will share one other one with you, or actually a few, just because I think they're really valuable. Again, another amazing track and field, Allison Felix. Like the most decorated Olympian in track and field, female Olympian in track and field. She was told that you either are an athlete or a mother. You don't do both. This is huge right now. All kinds of stuff going on with you cannot be a mother and an athlete. One or the other. Well, she wanted children. She became pregnant, and she had a complicated pregnancy. In fact, when her daughter was born, her daughter was in the neo-NIC unit fighting for her life. And Allison is told, you're probably never going to come back to sports. Number one, you're too old. I think she's 38 now. You're too old. And number two, there's no way you're going to get your body back in shape to compete. Well, at the time, the way her contract read with Nike for women was, if you are pregnant as an athlete under contract with us, you will lose, I think I have my facts straight, 70% of your earnings with us because of that. She fought that. She contested that. She left her contract with Nike as a statement for other women saying this is not okay. She went on to come up with a concept for a very specific shoe apparel for sports, which is doing quite well right now, by the way. The Olympics are endorsing her product. But what she wanted to do was to be able to set an example to her daughter, to say that you don't buy in. In fact, what she said to her little girl, who's 2 now, Cammie, never underestimate the power of your voice. You can't change anything in silence. Your voice is your power. You stand in your dominion. Well, not only did she come back in full form to compete, let's see, I think as of yesterday she had her 11th gold carrying the team. And again, continuing to show her daughter and other women, do not listen to things that do not serve your well-being. One woman from another country came up to her and thanked her for her actions with Nike, because now contracts have been rewritten. Contracts have been rewritten to actually prepare for security for women when they are pregnant and have children. If she had not stood her ground, spoke her truth, stood in her dominion, not only would that have not affected her, but many other women under contract with Nike to this day. This is why I brought that up. One more person, Gabby Thomas, track and field hurdles. When she was just trying to qualify to even get into this sport, she had complications with her health. And she told herself if she could ever even make it to qualify to the Olympics, not only would she be grateful, she would do her very best, and it was an honor to go. She wasn't thinking about medals and breaking records. She was thinking about the honor of showing up as her personal best and being part of something spectacular. I'm not really sure how we've gotten to a point where we now boo and hiss at our teams because they let us down. You were supposed to do this, you were supposed to do that. We all were waiting again with the news every day. Is Simone going to compete? Is she going to compete? Yes, the last day, the last opportunity for the individual, for her team, the individual on the balance beam. She actually had to revise her routine because she could not implement the full routine with the twisties. And she got a bronze. And she said she was more excited about the bronze medal than all the gold she won, because it was giving her an opportunity to yet again do her best, stand in her light, stand in her truth. And that bronze meant so much. And also that she was able to see all of her teammates rise up and have their very best experience for themselves. Had she not stepped away, honored her own health and well-being, those other teammates would not have had the opportunity to shine. So for anyone out there that's being a hater, saying she's terrible, she disappointed the country, she didn't fulfill her obligations, that's your choice to feel that way. But I look at the sportsmanship and think how fantastic that she created this opportunity for these women and rooted them every single event. Hearing about the men's relay team, our former president said they were a disgrace because they bumbled it and they could not compete. Oh my gosh, I'm a human being and somebody was having an off moment and that happened. Oh my gosh, what a disgrace, shame on all of us. Again, they had to qualify to get there. They had to qualify for a meet. And instead of acknowledging all their hard work, we were like boo and hissing them and shaming them. The soccer team, supposed to get gold, the women's soccer team, and boo-hoo hiss, they got silver. They were grateful they got silver. Our former president is shaming them. You're a disgrace to the country. Now, I want to say this to you about self-mastery. If you go out and do your very best, and you don't make your own personal expectation, you're disappointed with yourself, yes? But you're not disgraced, are you? You're not shamed because you did your very best, are you? I would hope not. I would hope that instead of looking at all the things I've brought up about this Olympic year and the things that were controversial, I would hope that when any of us watch the closing ceremonies tonight, we give thanks for each one of those people who shine their light their very best, and that we applaud them not for all their medals, but for their pride in their sportsmanship, and that countries came together to help other countries and spur other countries on. When somebody fell down on a meet, somebody else from another country helped them up. I'd rather focus on that, because to me that's me standing in my own dominion, my own perfection, my own grace. So I invite you to remember, choosing to be in your power is to honor yourself, to speak your truth, to be in integrity and alignment. The power color is purple. The chakra for power is your throat, to speak your word, to speak your authenticity for yourself. You are your own champion. If you get up in the morning and whatever you set your mind to do, remind yourself you are your own champion. You're doing your very, very best. And if someone else has something derogatory to say, just as the song said, if I were not fearing any form of failure, cover your ears so you don't let that in. You are doing your mighty, mighty best every moment that you can. You are your own champion. You are your own winner. You are your own light. So I'm going to just close with this. I had said it before. When you can't control what's happening around you, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what is happening. Because if you can do that, that's where your power is. That is where your personal strength and integrity is. So let's just take a moment to go inward and to give thanks for each and every person who says yes to the opportunity on this brand new baby day to stand in their light, no matter what has come before them, no matter what challenge or appearance of negativity, that they have stood up, taken a breath, given great thanks, and have moved into their own magic, their own remembrance that they are a champion, that you are a champion, and that is you expressing your own dominion. That is you mastering what self-mastery is all about. And that if you feel that you have missed the mark, it's another opportunity to try again. For the only way that we master anything is with our continued willingness to move forward. If you want to achieve mastery, you must be determined that you can. Don't doubt it. Keep asserting, keep trying. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Boy, that made me cry a little. That was very powerful. 2, 3, 4. I was born to live life fully, to let go of regret, to walk the high wire of life without a safety net, to follow something even bigger than my pride, to show up with courage even when I'm trembling inside. And I will not worry about what others think of me. And I will not be shackled by the chains of conformity. I'll break the mold set in the past, keep pushing till I'm free at last. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. Call me fearless, oh yeah, 'cause I am fearless. I'll follow the road to adventure everywhere. I'll let the top down and let the wind tangle up my hair. Oh, I'll hitch my dreams onto the brightest star. On the trapeze of life, I'll throw my heart right over the bar. Call 'cause I am fearless. I'll push outside my comfort zone, remembering I'm not alone. I'll follow the path of my heart and make my life a work of art. Call me fearless. Sing it with me here. I am fearless. One more time. Call me fearless, 'cause we are fearless. Thank you.
Rock it out, right? Okay, Elizabeth, Al, and Gerald. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. Was anyone inspired here today? Hello. Thank you, Reverend Divine. What a talk. And I'm just buzzing from the energy. So it's that time in our service in the pre-COVID days that we would pass a basket about so that you could put your love offerings in such. However, we're choosing to do it differently. We do have baskets available. There's one on the middle table there. There's one here and one out by the other door. So when you want to put that in there, and if you're online, you can send via the mail, or you can go to our Unity of Fort Collins website. And on the front page, you can also put a donation in. So we do have a prosperity blessing that if you have your sheet or know it by heart, we like to speak this together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And thank you all for your generosity and your support of the Unity of Fort Collins. And now we're going to share together, before our closing song, the prayer of protection. Again, that's on your sheet. And together, the light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so we can join with Elle, bringing us into our closing peace song. And the words again are on the sheet. Thank you.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, family all are we. As we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Woo!
And as you go out into your week, and remind yourself that peace does begin with you. That all that you have in your opportunities to shine your bright light, that you do so. And that as you do that, you give others permission and safety to have that same experience, to shine their lights as well. That you make this week just as amazing as you are, that you do that safely, consciously, mindfully, and just going out and being your true, self-mastered, authentic self. Just a reminder that you can still show up in class on Tuesday and Wednesday night for grief and loss. Thank you and have an amazing week. So glad that you're here with us. So glad that you're here with us as well. Thanks.